In a world that constantly bombards us with noise and demands, silence may seem insignificant, almost invisible. Yet today I want to tell you that silence is not just the absence of noise, it is a superpower, a tool for transformation and a path to clarity. Silence is where we meet ourselves. It's where the chaos of life meets the calm of the soul. Think about the moments when you've sat in stillness. How often have those moments brought you answers you couldn't find in the midst of chatter? That's because silence is where clarity lies. Let's talk about the power of listening. When you embrace silence, you sharpen your ability to listen not just to others, but to yourself. How many times have we misunderstood someone because we were so focused on replying instead of understanding? Silence teaches us patience. It teaches us to pause, to absorb, and to respond thoughtfully. And then there's self-awareness. In silence, we can hear the whispers of our own hearts, the fears, the dreams, and the truths we might have been avoiding. It's in silence that we become aware of our patterns and can begin to change them. Reflection is a gift we give ourselves when we allow space for quiet. Silence is also a commanding presence. Have you ever noticed how the quietest person in the room often commands the most respect? They don't need to fill the air with words because their silence speaks volumes. It communicates confidence, self-control, and wisdom. Silence is a strategy. In moments of conflict, when emotions run high, silence can de-escalate and diffuse. In negotiations, silence can create an opening for others to reveal their thoughts. And in relationships, silence can signal strength, not weakness. Silence is not a void, it is power. It is the space where growth happens, where strength builds, and where wisdom takes root. So I challenge you to embrace silence. Start small, 5 minutes a day, a moment before a conversation, or a pause before reacting. Remember, the greatest answers and the deepest transformations often arise when we learn to quiet the noise and listen to the stillness. That is your superpower. Use it wisely. Silence cultivates inner peace. It is in the stillness that we find clarity, focus, and the ability to reconnect with ourselves. In today's fast-paced world, where noise surrounds us at every turn, be it the hum of technology, the chatter of daily life, or the endless stream of notifications, finding inner peace may seem impossible. Yet, silence provides the gateway to tranquility. Consider this: when was the last time you sat in complete silence? No distractions, no external demands, just you and your thoughts. For many of us, this may seem like a rarity, even a luxury. But in truth, silence is not something you need to find, it is something you create. It is the deliberate choice to step away from the noise and chaos, even if just for a moment, to allow your mind the space to breathe. Inner peace begins when we allow silence to work its magic. The mind, much like a cluttered desk, needs time to declutter and organize itself. Imagine trying to solve a complex puzzle while loud music blares in the background. The noise makes it harder to concentrate, to see the pieces clearly, and to find the solutions you're looking for. Now imagine turning the music off. Suddenly the distractions fade away and you can focus. This is what silence does for your mind. It creates an environment where clarity can thrive. But silence is not just about reducing external noise, it's also about quieting the internal noise. How often do we find ourselves overwhelmed by racing thoughts, to-do lists, and the endless stream of worries? The practice of silence teaches us to gently quiet these mental intrusions. When we sit in stillness, we learn to observe our thoughts rather than react to them. We become aware of what truly matters and let go of what doesn't. This process of decluttering the mind has profound effects on our emotional well-being. Silence acts as a balm for stress, anxiety, and the constant pressure of doing more, achieving more, and being more. It allows us to step off the hamster wheel of life, even if only briefly, to rest and recharge. In these moments of peace, we rediscover our inner strength, and from this strength comes a deep and unshakable calm. Silence also fosters focus. In a world of constant multitasking, our attention is often fragmented. We jump from one task to another, rarely giving anything our full focus. But when we practice silence, we train our minds to focus deeply and intentionally. Whether it's a project at work, a conversation with a loved one, or a personal goal, silence helps us to be fully present. It removes the distractions that pull us in 100 different directions and allows us to channel our energy into what truly matters. Silence enhances our creativity and problem-solving abilities. Some of the greatest ideas and breakthroughs come not in moments of frantic activity, but in moments of quiet reflection. Think about the times you've had an aha moment, perhaps while taking a walk, staring out a window, or simply sitting in silence. This is no coincidence. In stillness, the mind is free to wander, to connect ideas, and to see solutions that were previously obscured by the noise. It's also important to recognize that silence is not about avoidance or escape. It is not about running away from problems or responsibilities. Rather, it is about creating a space where we can approach life with greater clarity, strength, and intentionality. It is about finding the eye of the storm, the calm center from which we can navigate life's challenges with grace and confidence. To cultivate inner peace through silence, start small. Dedicate just a few minutes each day to sitting quietly. This could be in the morning before the day begins, during a break at work, or in the evening as you wind down. Turn off your devices, close your eyes if you wish, and simply breathe. Focus on the rhythm of your breath, the rise and fall of your chest, and let the noise of the world fade away. Over time, you'll notice a shift. You'll find yourself approaching situations with greater calm and resilience. You'll become less reactive and more intentional. And most importantly, you'll discover the profound peace that comes from within, a peace that cannot be shaken by external circumstances. Silence is not just the absence of noise, it is the presence of peace. It is a sanctuary we can retreat to at any moment, a tool we can use to center ourselves, and a gift we can give to our minds and heart. Embrace it, nurture it, and watch as it transforms your life from the inside out. Listening is one of the most powerful skills we can develop, and silence is the key that unlocks it. In a world where so much emphasis is placed on speaking, expressing, and asserting ourselves, the art of listening often gets lost. Yet the ability to listen deeply and intentionally can transform our relationships, enhance our understanding, and open doors that words alone never could. Silence sharpens this skill, allowing us to not only hear but truly understand. When we embrace silence, we create space for others to share their thoughts and feelings without interruption. Too often, conversations become competitions, races to make our points, defend our views, or steer the discussion in our direction. In this dynamic, listening is merely waiting for our turn to speak, and as a result, we miss out on the richness of what others are offering. Silence shifts this pattern. By choosing to be quiet, we signal that we value the other person's voice, and we give them the freedom to express themselves fully. This act of intentional listening is incredibly powerful. It fosters connection, builds trust, and shows respect. When someone feels truly heard, they feel valued. Think about the times when someone has really listened to you, not just nodded along, but paid attention with their whole being. Didn't it feel like a gift? That's the gift you give to others when you use silence as a tool to listen. Listening also deepens our understanding. Every person carries a unique perspective shaped by their experiences, values, and beliefs. By listening without judgment or the need to immediately respond, we open ourselves to new ideas and insights. Silence gives us the opportunity to process what is being said rather than react impulsively. It allows us to ask meaningful questions, clarify uncertainties, and engage in thoughtful dialogue. This is where true understanding begins, not in speaking, but in listening. Silence also helps us listen beyond words. Communication is more than just what people say, it's how they say it. It's the tone of voice, the pauses, the body language, and the emotions that accompany the words. When we're silent, we become attuned to these subtleties. We notice the hesitation in someone's voice that suggests doubt or fear. We see the tension in their posture that reveals discomfort. These nonverbal cues often carry more meaning than the words themselves, and silence allows us to pick up on them. In addition to listening to others, silence helps us listen to ourselves. How often do we ignore the inner voice that tries to guide us? Whether it's a gut feeling, a quiet intuition, or a persistent thought, our inner voice is always there, but we rarely give it the attention it deserves. Silence creates the stillness we need to hear it. By taking the time to listen to ourselves, we become more self-aware, more in tune with our values and desires, and better equipped to make decisions that align with who we truly are. Listening through silence also transforms conflicts. When emotions are high and disagreements arise, the instinct is often to defend, explain, or retaliate. But silence can be a powerful diffuser. By choosing to listen instead of react, we allow the other person to express themselves fully, which can de-escalate tension and pave the way for resolution. It also gives us time to understand their perspective, to identify common ground, and to respond with thoughtfulness rather than anger. Listening through silence cultivates patience. In a fast-paced world, we're often tempted to rush through conversations, finish people's sentences, or jump to conclusions. Silence teaches us to slow down, to give others the time and space they need to articulate their thoughts. This patience not only enhances communication, but also strengthens relationships. Silence makes listening an intentional act rather than a passive one. It transforms listening from a routine activity into a meaningful practice. By choosing silence, we make a conscious decision to prioritize understanding over being understood, to value connection over competition, and to learn rather than assert. The power of listening cannot be overstated. It is through listening that we build relationships, solve problems, and grow as individuals. And it is silence that enables us to listen with depth, clarity, and intention. So the next time you're in a conversation, pause before you speak. Embrace the silence. Listen with your ears, your eyes, and your heart. You may be surprised at what you hear and how it transforms your world. In the modern world, silence is not just a tool for personal growth, it is a source of incredible strength. In a society that often equates power with volume, where the loudest voice in the room seems to command attention, true strength lies in the ability to remain composed, thoughtful, and deliberate. Silence offers a profound kind of power, one that allows us to maintain control over ourselves and our circumstances, even in the face of challenges. When we choose silence, we make a statement not of weakness or passivity, but of discipline. It takes far more strength to remain silent in the heat of a moment than to react impulsively. Whether it's during an argument, a moment of provocation, or an emotionally charged situation, silence shows that we are not controlled by our emotions. Instead, we are choosing to rise above the immediate urge to respond, giving ourselves the space to think clearly and act wisely. This ability to pause and reflect is a hallmark of inner strength. When we are silent, we create a buffer between the stimulus and our reaction. Rather than being swept away by the tides of anger, frustration, or anxiety, we remain grounded, giving ourselves time to assess the situation objectively. Silence is the space where strength gathers, allowing us to respond in a way that aligns with our values and long-term goals. Silence also protects our energy. In a world full of constant demands, arguments, and debates, it is easy to get drawn into conflicts that drain us. By choosing silence, we conserve our emotional and mental resources for what truly matters. We recognize that not every battle is worth fighting, not every comment is worth responding to, and not every opinion needs our engagement. This restraint is not avoidance, it is wisdom. It is the strength to prioritize peace over unnecessary conflict. Moreover, silence allows us to maintain control over our narrative. Words once spoken cannot be taken back. They have the power to heal, but also the power to harm. In moments of anger or stress, it's easy to say something we later regret. Silence, on the other hand, ensures that we do not speak in haste. It gives us time to choose our words carefully, to ensure that what we say reflects our true intentions and not just a fleeting emotion. This control over our words is a powerful form of self-mastery. Silence can also be a strategic tool in communication and negotiation. In discussions or debates, the one who speaks the least often holds the most power. Silence creates an air of mystery and authority, compelling others to listen more carefully when you do choose to speak. It forces others to fill the void, often revealing more than they intended. This strategic use of silence is a mark of strength and confidence. It shows that you are not seeking validation through constant talking, but are instead secure in your presence and purpose. Another aspect of silence's strength lies in its ability to foster resilience. Life will inevitably throw challenges our way, difficult conversations, unexpected setbacks, and moments of doubt. In these situations, silence can be a sanctuary. It allows us to retreat inward, to reflect, and to gather the strength we need to move forward. In silence, we process our emotions, find clarity, and rebuild our resolve. This quiet resilience is what enables us to face life's storms without being swept away. Silence also enhances our capacity for learning. When we are silent, we open ourselves to the perspectives, wisdom, and experiences of others. We listen more intently, observe more keenly, and absorb more fully. This willingness to be quiet and learn is a sign of strength, not weakness. It shows that we are secure enough to admit that we don't have all the answers and humble enough to seek growth. Finally, silence strengthens our relationship with ourselves. In the noise of daily life, it's easy to lose touch with who we are and what we stand for. Silence brings us back to our center. It allows us to reflect on our values, dreams, and purpose. This interconnection is the foundation of true strength. When we are rooted in ourselves, we are unshakable no matter what the world throws at us. Silence is not the absence of strength, it is its ultimate expression. It is a tool that empowers us to remain composed under pressure, to protect our energy, and to act with wisdom and intention. By embracing silence, we cultivate a strength that is quiet but unyielding, a strength that commands respect without ever raising its voice. In a world that often thrives on noise and haste, there is a profound wisdom in stepping back and giving ourselves the space to think clearly. Silence is not merely the absence of sound, it is a deliberate act of creating room for clarity, focus, and perspective. It is in this space of stillness that some of life's most significant decisions are made, and its most challenging problems are solved. When we allow ourselves moments of silence, we disengage from the constant stream of external influences, social media, conversations, deadlines, and demands. This break from noise is essential because it frees our minds from the clutter of distractions, enabling us to focus on what truly matters. In silence, the superficial fades away and the essential becomes clear. We begin to see patterns, connections, and solutions that were previously obscured by the chaos of daily life. Silence gives us time to reflect on our priorities. Often we rush into decisions or actions because of external pressures or the fear of missing out. However, when we pause and embrace silence, we create the opportunity to align our choices with our values and long-term goals. This clarity ensures that we are not simply reacting to circumstances, but are acting with intention and purpose. Moreover, silence fosters creativity. When the mind is free from constant input, it has the space to wander, explore, and imagine. Some of the most brilliant ideas and innovations have emerged not in moments of noise, but in moments of quiet reflection. Think of the times when a solution to a problem suddenly came to you while you were alone, walking, or simply sitting in stillness. That's the power of silence. It unlocks the creative potential that resides with each of us. In addition to fostering clarity and creativity, silence also allows us to gain perspective. Life's challenges can often feel overwhelming when we're in the thick of them. Problems seem insurmountable, emotions run high, and it becomes difficult to see a way forward. But when we step back and give ourselves the gift of silence, we gain the distance needed to see the bigger picture. In this quiet space, we can separate our emotions from the situation, analyze it objectively, and identify practical steps to address it. Silence is particularly valuable in moments of conflict or emotional turmoil. When tensions rise, our instincts often push us toward immediate action, whether that's defending ourselves, retaliating, or seeking resolution. However, these instinctive reactions are rarely our most effective responses. Silence provides a buffer, a moment to breathe, and an opportunity to process our thoughts before we speak or act. It prevents us from saying things we might regret or making decisions we might later reconsider. In professional settings, silence can be a powerful tool for problem solving and leadership. When faced with a challenge, the leader who listens more and speaks less often gains the most insight. Silence creates space for others to contribute ideas, perspectives, and solutions, fostering a collaborative environment. It also demonstrates confidence and self-assuredness, showing that the leader values thoughtfulness over haste. In our personal lives, silence helps us navigate complex relationships and decisions. Whether it's deciding how to handle a sensitive situation, determining the next step in our journey, or understanding our own emotions, silence is the key that unlocks deeper insights. It allows us to tune out external voices and tune into our inner wisdom, ensuring that our choices are authentic and aligned with who we truly are. Silence also strengthens our resilience. Life is full of uncertainties, and it's easy to feel overwhelmed by the pace and unpredictability of it all. In these moments, silence becomes a sanctuary, a place where we can pause, regroup, and regain our strength. It reminds us that not every situation requires an immediate response, and that sometimes the best course of action is to wait, observe, and reflect. Silence is a tool for gaining clarity, not just in moments of stillness, but in every aspect of our lives. It allows us to cut through the noise, focus on what matters, and approach challenges with a calm and composed mind. In embracing silence, we are not retreating from life, but stepping into it with greater awareness and intention. The answers we seek are often already within us, waiting to be discovered in the quiet moments we create. Silence not only helps us listen, but also fosters self-awareness, a crucial element in personal growth. When we embrace silence, we give ourselves the opportunity to reflect deeply on our thoughts, feelings, and actions. In the hustle and bustle of daily life, it's easy to lose touch with our true selves, distracted by external demands, opinions, and pressures. But in silence, we reconnect with our inner voice, rediscovering our values, desires, and goals. This practice of self-reflection allows us to understand our reactions, motivations, and the underlying reasons for our behaviors. When we take time to pause and listen to our inner thoughts, we can identify patterns in our emotions and responses, helping us to make more intentional choices. Silence gives us the clarity needed to align our actions with our deeper purpose and make decisions that are authentic rather than reactive. Moreover, silence fosters a sense of peace within ourselves, reducing stress and anxiety. It provides a safe space where we can process emotions, heal, and restore balance. This connection with our inner self strengthens our confidence and resilience, ensuring that we can navigate life's challenges with a clear and steady mind. In essence, silence allows us to understand ourselves better, empowering us to grow and evolve into the best version of ourselves.